Welcome to the new episode of Lucy's Arcane Vault. In today's episode I'm going to sew a Victorian waistcoat. So for a pattern I used an existing bodice pattern by Truly Victorian. It's 1880s cuirass bodice. I will link it in the description down below. And I modified the neckline and the hemline. So here I'm flatlining the bodice front pieces, which is I'm pinning the main fabric onto the underlining. And basting with long loose stitches on my Genome Memory Craft Horizon 15,000. That's a long name. And I have stitched all the horizontal lines. Here I'm going to baste inside of the darts so that the fabrics keep nicely together when I will be sewing the actual darts. And the vertical seams or vertical edges I'm finishing with an overlocker. And this waistcoat is my working mock-up. I haven't done any other mock-ups, so fingers crossed it's going to work. So here I'm pinning the darts, aligning the lines. Stitching them on my Singer 411G. G stands for Germany. This is a German-made Singer machine in 1962, and it belongs into Slant-O-Matic family. So it means that the shank is slanted rather than straight. And this is one of the last fully Metal Gear machines. Here I'm pressing the darts. And here I'm stitching the pocket flaps right sides together. I'm sewing the 3 edges and leaving one long edge opened. Trimming the corners. and turning right side out. This is a 10mm bamboo knitting needle that I use to poke the corners, and then of course pressing. And the other long edge has been finished with an overlocker so that there isn't any raw seam. Here I'm measuring the pocket flap placement and pinning in place for both fronts, and these are going to be full pockets. I just couldn't be bothered to put actual pockets here. I thought that it's going to be pretty fitted, of course, and what is the item that would fit into such small pockets without adding any bulk into the stomach? So I just made the flaps without actual pockets. And here I'm top stitching about 2 centimeters at each corner so that the pocket flap lies nicely. And Rosemary, my darling assistant, so here I'm pinning the pieces together. These are the backs, and side the backs I will pin the entire waistcoat and then sew it all in one go. These are sides. And fronts. Those are side seams and shoulder seams. So the back of the waistcoat is made in this rather sturdy Duchess satin fabric, the same fabric actually that I used for my Betty dress, the one with the black lace and blush under fabric. And then the fronts are in this beautiful jacquard fabric. Here I'm pressing the seams open over a hem, tailoring hem. And these are the facings. So those need to be stitched at the shoulder seam. And here I'm attaching bias binding onto the armholes. That's how they will be finished.
braiding seam allowances and clipping any corners and curves. And now I'm attaching bias binding onto the hem. When I didn't put any boning into this waistcoat, although I always put boning into every Victorian bodice and polonaise, I thought that I will try if it will be smooth without it. But in the future I may put boning into waistcoats as well. And this bias binding will be turned and pressed onto the wrong side, and then the top edge will be hand stitched into the underlining, so it won't be visible on the right side at all. And the last task is to make buttonholes, and these are a special keyhole shaped buttonholes that are intended for shank buttons.
And I am planning to wear this waistcoat with my vintage clothing and my historical clothing, regardless of the time period.
And here is the finished waistcoat worn with a matching 1880s bustle skirt and chiffon blouse underneath, and a chatelaine, of course. I have some sewing notions on that chatelaine. It fits pretty well, I don't have to make any adjustments. Maybe next time I will add lapels onto the waistcoat. Or maybe make it double-breasted. We'll see.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like and subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. And I will be back soon with more historical sewing and crafting. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and blessed be.